Welcome to the Common Man Football Show. My name is James Coburn, and today's episode is the top 5 sleeper safeties in the 2018 NFL Draft Class based on analytics. And again, this is based on analytics. This is not my opinion. This is not how I feel about these players on tape. This is purely what the numbers say. And the numbers that we're going to be looking at is production metrics, age metrics, and speed metrics, or at least athleticism metrics in the form of the 40-yard dash for their size. The production metrics is going to deal with market share data. Market share, if you're not very familiar with it, or at least defensive market share, is where you take an individual defensive statistic and you divide it by the team total statistic. So if a safety had 10 interceptions on a team that had 100 interceptions, and that safety had 10% market share. But what you do is you take that market share, percentage, and you compare it to every single safety since the 1999 NFL Draft Class, and then boom, you have a way of scoring those players based on who had the highest market share versus who had the lowest market share, and then you're able to see what the patterns may be when it comes to their production at the NFL level. We're going to be looking at solo tackle market share, interception market share, and pass deflection market share, or pass breakup market share, to be a little bit more specific when it comes to that particular number. Not interceptions plus breakups, just purely pass deflections market share. We're also going to be looking at age. Age is sort of an indicator when it comes to their ability to be a prodigy, and the younger a player is, the more upside potential they have, if you will. And then the last aspect is the speed score, which is essentially you take the 40-yard dash and you compare it to what their mass density is, which is the weight divided by height, and you're able to get a score from that, how fast they ran for their size, and you get that score and you compare it to every single safety as well, and then you're able to score them on who had the highest score, which means that they are, how fast they are for their size is essentially what you're looking at. And that is another sort of thing that deals with, what the minimum threshold is for Pro Bowlers with that type of speed, and what the high end is, and all those other sort of aspects. So that's how we're going to get to the list. Those 3 sort of categories, of data. And now let's get to the top 5. At number 5, we have Ronnie Harrison, defensive safety out of Alabama. When it comes to height and weight, he's 6'2", 214 pounds with a 4.57 40-yard dash. Based on his production, he put up a 68.43 solo tackle market share score, a 58.51 interception market share score, and a 53.96 interception, or pass deflection market share score, excuse me. Based on that production, his solo tackle market share just needs to get a little bit higher. His interception market share is about where it needs to be, at least for a Pro Bowler. And his pass deflection market share is another area that needs some improvement. But overall, when you look at his profile, it's very solid. His age score is decent. His speed score is actually 68.04 out of 100, so a pretty impressive speed score for a safety, to be honest. And I just think when you look at this profile, you're looking at a guy who right now on paper just looks like a solid starter. But if he can improve his solo tackle market share, if he can improve all his numbers, his pass deflection market share, all that kind of stuff, I think this is someone that we could see a lot higher when it's all said and done, based on his overall profile, his size measurables, and all those other sort of things too. Because he is impressive. Being 6'2", 214 pounds is pretty impressive on paper. But the bottom line is that he's number 5 because there are some things to nitpick about him, but there at least are a lot of solid things to his profile that you can at least see this guy on paper as a potential starter, and that is why he is number 5 on this list. Number 4, we have Dominic Sanders from Georgia. He's 6 foot, 190 pounds with a 4.54 40-yard dash, according to NFLDraftScout.com. Based on his production, put up a 17.56 solo tackle market share score, a 97 interception market share score, and an 88.63 pass deflection market share score. As you can already tell, the solo tackle market share score is just not good. It's just not impressive. It doesn't really hit any of the marks it needs to hit. It's about 50 points, almost 60 points away from being a number that is impressive enough to be sort of a Pro Bowl or All-Pro threshold, you know, when it comes to solo tackle market share. But his interception market share is 97 out of 100, which is really good. His pass deflection market share is 88.63 out of 100, which is also impressive. And overall, when you just look at his production profile, it's very decent, with the only issues being his speed score of only 35.15 out of 100, but at least that hits sort of starter threshold when it comes to the safety position. So, but the bottom line is, you look at his profile, really great interception market share, really good pass deflection market share, but his speed score just isn't really that impressive. But the metrics tend to favor safeties that have really high-end interception and pass deflection market share, and that is kind of why he's number 4 on this list. He could be anywhere from 4 to 5-ish, but because his interception market share is so high, you just have to put him here at number 4. Number 3, we have Jah'Shawn Johnson, defensive safety out of Texas Tech. When it comes to height and weight, he's 5'10", 176 pounds with a 4.48 40-yard dash. Based on his production, put up a 68.70 solo tackle market share score, a 90.08 interception market share score, and a 70.52 pass deflection market share score. All those marks are decent. The solo tackle could use some improvement, at least to get into the high-end thresholds, but it's okay. And his interception and pass deflection market share score are at least high enough to be considered, you know, kind of a higher-end sort of guy. The pass deflection could get a little bit higher, but really good interception market share. Solo tackle and pass deflection is on the fringes of being into that elite category. So it'll really be about what he does this year. Speed score isn't that impressive, though, of only 34.90 in terms of the speed score. However, that's something that can improve as well. So, but overall, when you look at his profile, has some good production thresholds, has some things that can be easily improved if he just has a better season this year, you know, slightly better in terms of specific categories. And it's really just a matter of what he does at the combine and if he can improve these numbers, because when you just look at his profile on paper, lots of positives, just has to, you know, improve a couple things here and there, and that is why he is a sleeper on this list. At number 2, we have Marcus Epps, defensive safety out of Wyoming. When it comes to height and weight, he's 6 foot 203 pounds. No 40-yard dash, however, according to NFL Draft Scout. Based on his production, put up a 91.54 solo tackle market share score, a 76.52 interception market share score, and a 76.89 pass deflection market share score. The solo tackle market share score is really impressive. The interception is very good, and the pass deflection is very good. You know, he just needs to improve a couple things a bit. You know, the interception and pass deflection could be a lot better. But when you look at his profile, it's really good. And it's really just a matter of how athletic he is, because if he is very athletic, this is the profile of a guy with potential to be a Pro Bowl safety already. So we don't really know what his speed score is, but when you have a guy that from a production standpoint hits most of the marks you're looking for when it comes to Pro Bowl safety traits on paper, you just have to put him at number 2, and that is why he is number 2 on this list. Number 1, we have Trayvon Henderson, defensive safety out of Hawaii. When it comes to height and weight, he's 6 foot 217 pounds, with no 40-yard dash according to NFL Draft Scout, though. Based on his production, he put up a 69.43 solo tackle market share score, a 70.25 interception market share score, and a 98.36 pass deflection market share score. His pass deflection market share score is really, really, really impressive. You know, 98.36 out of 100 pretty much hits all the high-quality marks you want to hit. He doesn't quite hit the solo tackle marks, but he's really close to hitting that mark, and his interception mark at least hits the Pro Bowl threshold when it comes to this position. So there are enough positives here that realistically it's just how athletic he is, and we don't really know much about his athleticism yet. We don't know his 40-yard dash, but you just look at these things, you look at everything on paper. Really good overall production marks, hits a mark in production as well that is elite. And you know, when you hit those marks, when you hit marks that are that sort of level, you just have to put him at number 1. You know, 6 foot 217 is also a pretty menacing size as well. That ends up being what his actual size is. So just really impressive numbers on paper, and that is why he's number 1 on this list. this concludes the top 5 sleepers at the defensive safety position in the 2018 NFL Draft class. My name is James Coburn. You can find my work at draftcoburn.wordpress.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at Geometrics. And if you like this content and you want more content like this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Share this video as well with anybody that you know, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.